Ever wonder how a bunch of rebellious colonies became one of the most powerful nations on Earth? Let's dive into the incredible story of the United States of America, a tale packed with revolution, innovation, and a relentless pursuit of a dream. Ow. Our story begins long before 1776, with diverse Native American civilizations flourishing across the continent for thousands of years. Each had its own rich culture, language, and way of life. Then, in the 15th and 16th centuries, European explorers arrived, starting with Christopher Columbus. This arrival kicked off a massive exchange of goods, ideas, and, unfortunately, diseases, forever changing the face of the Americas. Fast forward to the 17th and 18th centuries. English settlers established 13 colonies along the Atlantic coast. Life was tough, but these colonists were building new societies from the ground up. They were farmers, traders, and artisans, all seeking opportunity or freedom. But they were still under the rule of Great Britain, a powerful empire, an ocean away. Over time, tensions started to brew. The British government began imposing taxes on the colonies without giving them any say in the matter. You might have heard the famous slogan, "No taxation without representation." This wasn't just about money. It was about a fundamental belief in liberty and self-governance. Frustration boiled over into protests, like the Boston Tea Party, where colonists dumped tea into the harbor to protest a British tax. The spark had been lit. In 1775, the first shots of the American Revolutionary War were fired at Lexington and Concord. It was a classic underdog story, a ragtag army of farmers and merchants taking on the mightiest military in the world. Then came the moment that defined a nation. On July 4th, 1776, the Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence. This radical document, penned primarily by Thomas Jefferson, declared that all men are created equal with certain unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It was a bold statement that announced to the world that the 13 colonies were now free and independent states. After a long and brutal war, with crucial help from allies like France, the unthinkable happened. The British surrendered at Yorktown in 1781. The United States had won its independence. But now came the hard part, building a new government. The first attempt, the Articles of Confederation, was a bit of a disaster. The central government was too weak to get anything done. So in 1787, the nation's leaders gathered in Philadelphia to draft a new plan, the U.S. Constitution. This brilliant document created a federal system with 3 branches of government: legislative, executive, and judicial, all held in check by a system of checks and balances. It was a blueprint for a republic that has endured for over 2 centuries. The 19th century was a period of explosive growth and immense challenges. The country expanded westward, driven by the idea of manifest destiny, the belief that it was destined to stretch from coast to coast. This expansion brought prosperity and opportunity for many, but it came at a terrible cost to Native American populations, who were forcibly removed from their ancestral lands. The nation also faced its greatest internal crisis, slavery. The divide between the industrial North and the agrarian, slave-holding South grew deeper and deeper, eventually erupting into the Civil War in 1861. It was the bloodiest conflict in American history. The Union's victory in 1865 preserved the nation and led to the abolition of slavery. But the struggle for true equality for African Americans was far from over. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw the U.S. transform into an industrial powerhouse. Immigrants from all over the world flocked to its shores, seeking a better life and fueling the growth of cities and factories. America stepped onto the world stage, playing decisive roles in World War I and World War II. The post-war era brought the Cold War, a tense standoff with the Soviet Union, as well as incredible social change at home. The Civil Rights Movement, led by figures like Martin Luther King Jr., fought against racial segregation and injustice, leading to landmark legislation that changed the fabric of American society. From the space race that put a man on the moon to the digital revolution that created Silicon Valley, the United States has continued to be a hub of innovation and change. The story of America is complex, messy, and often contradictory. It's a story of great triumphs and profound failures, of a constant struggle to live up to its founding ideals. It's a story that is still being written every single day by its people. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories. See you next time.